see you. I don't see you.
Oh, I'm on. Okay, and I'll tell you, I'm on. I've been on for 12 seconds now. We don't have anybody that joined us yet, but why don't you go ahead and speak? We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook. Okay, we are live. We're live. There's 2 people on Facebook watching us right now.
Okay, awesome.
So
Perfect.
let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody, Kimberly, why don't you talk about who you are, what you do, and how your life has changed. Maybe we can talk about that, about how your life has changed ever since you took the New World Practitioner course, and how maybe you're blowing your own mind on how you are an amazing practitioner. But let's start off with who you are.
Yes, my name's Kimberly McNett, and I am in Bonita Springs, Florida. And I have always had one foot in the health world for 37 years. And I came across Dr. Wolf about 3 years ago. He showed up on my Facebook page. And I went through his whole library. I watched every single presentation, and I still do to this day, that he does, and started practicing some of his protocols, which are amazing. So then I called him and I said, hey, you want to come to Florida? And so we worked it out. He said, I'll come to Florida. I'll come to Bonita Springs. And we worked it out. He came here.
Because why? Because Kimberly owns Crunch Fitness in Florida. So that's why she says she was kind of in the health world. Okay. All right. Go ahead, love.
Yes. And so I asked Dr. And of course the hurricane came, but he was dedicated and he came and he, so I went through this course and it's nothing like watching him on, because like I said, I watched him for 3 years. But when you're with him in person, in live, it is so different. Totally changed my whole paradigm. I at first just wanted to take it for the emotional side of things because, you know, I know the body side and the nutrition side. But I wanted the emotional side. And Dr. Wolf is very good about looking past your subconscious to crack your coconut to get right to where you are. And he's fabulous with that. And he, you know, can take you to the edge, but then he pulls you back in. So anyways, he's amazing.
Okay. You're not allowed to talk about me. Okay. You got to talk about, everybody, this is really important. And I teach this. Do I teach this, Kimberly? That you need to be your own cheerleader. You're not going to get anywhere in life by counting on me. You're only going to get in life. And so I want to hear about the amazing Kimberly. The reason why Kimberly wanted to come on and tell her story. And I said, come on, but I need her to tell her story exactly from where she came from. She came from a place of doubting herself. And has that changed at all?
Absolutely. I came from a place of not feeling like I was enough, that I didn't have any value, that I was not seen. And I came away, Dr. Wolf told me every day, he said, you got to hold the line for you. Hold it for you. Nobody else. You have to hold the line for you. And so as I was going through the course, I had to peel back some layers and realize that I am a Braveheart warrior. I do the mirror work, and I have seen my life just like transform like a flower opening up. And the people that are on here that know me, they know, they can see it. And so I didn't really want to do the whole thing as far as Wolf non-surgical. I just wanted the emotional side of things. However, I did do the Wolf non-surgical because he's there. He's in my place, right? And I'm sponsoring him. So I did the Wolf non-surgical, and oh my goodness gracious, I'm telling you what. You know what? I love people, and I want to help people, and that's my heart. And this is a tool. I tell people we are changing the world one elbow at a time. And so I want to tell you the last couple of, I have so many, but there's two in particular that blow my mind that have just recently happened.
Well, you want to talk about two different people that you treated with Wolf Non-Surgical. Now, understand something, everyone. She's never been a body therapist in her life. Understand that people will go, I've always wanted to help people. I always wanted to do some form of body work, but I want to do something. And understand something. We have the most powerful body work, and it is not hard to learn. Understand, you know what? The whole medical system makes everything into a mystery. Any place that is a government approved university or college is going to make you think that you got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, or at least tens of thousands of dollars, and you got to take years to learn. Well, understand something. Kimberly came to the New World Practitioner course, 9 days of the Whole Life Coach and 12 days of the Wolf Non-Surgical. And be honest with me, when I told you that we were going to make you into a practitioner that would be able to work on people after they have left the chiro, the massage, the acupuncturist, the physiotherapist, and you're going to blow their mind, was I lying?
No, you were not. And you were right. I had no intention. I didn't want to do any body work. That was not even in my mindset. But now, because I have the desire to help people, and I know nothing about this kind of work, never had any interest in it. But when I see people transform and melt underneath my elbow, and I see these miracles, I mean, they are just, it's amazing. It's beyond and above anything that you've ever experienced, any type of body work, massage, chiropractic, it's nothing like anything that you know of. It's life transforming.
Okay, well, let's tell your little stories, and honestly, I don't know what they are, do I, Kimberly? You haven't told me, have you?
No.
Okay, and just understand something. When you become a practitioner and you come to take my course, whether you're doing it because you just want to become the best you can be for yourself, or help to heal yourself and your family, or you want to open up a business, Kimberly, how have we been there for you?
Oh my goodness. Every time I reach out to Dr. Wolf, he's right there answering my call. Sometimes I want his input on things that I'm doing, and he's right there. And he will take, like, I'll send him a text and he will do a live. He will read my text off and he will respond to this text from one of my clients, and he's just working through the whole thing right live. So, no, he's been right beside me this whole time, which gives me the confidence and faith to be able to do what he's taught me to do.
And if I can say this, there's a couple people that are putting messages here. Yeah, if you want to know where we're going to be giving the free lectures and the trainings, please go to braveheartnation.com. Yes, and those of you, my library, the free library, it's at Doc of Detox. Just click on library and go dive in. It's all free. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one of my clients, and I actually was working on her neck, and so I had her in the chair. We were working on her neck, and I know this person, and she's very hard of hearing, and she would always say, huh, and she'd have to like my face to kind of understand what I was saying. But that was the least of the things that I wanted to work on, because she's all frozen up, her entire spine, from her sacrum all the way up to her occiput. Everything's frozen. And everything is connected. So I thought, well, you know what? I finished the neck, and I thought, you know what? Let's just hit around her ear and on her TMJ, which is the jawline. And so as I went in there, and I didn't go in there that hard, I was just going in there because it was just something I wanted to just let her experience. Anyways, she goes, oh, I feel all this popping and popping and popping. And pretty soon, then I was done. I didn't even do a full treatment on her. I just did like 10 minutes on each side. That was it. I didn't think anything about it. She gets up, she goes home, and then the next day, she texts me because she couldn't call me because she could not hear. she had zero hearing then. So it wasn't hard of hearing, it was no hearing. She looked at her husband, he's talking to her, and she's seeing his lips move, but she cannot hear one thing he was saying. And so, anyways, she did an ear flush. She got this little teeny tiny piece of wax out of her ear. And Dr. Wolf, he explained it this way. He says, when you go in and you work, it's like taking a palm tree and you're bending it all the way over to the ground. And then what happens, it compensates and it goes all the way in the other direction. And then it'll come back to normal as your body starts to heal. Well, this is exactly what happened to my client. So she flushed it out. She got a little bit of stuff out of there. Now, her hearing is so good that if you drop your keys on the desk, she cringes. And she used to have the TV on 100 was the volume, and she could read the captions. Now she has to have it way, way, way down, or she can't even, she can't stand it. So her hearing, it's because she hasn't been able to hear for so long, and she didn't even know it. So she's all frozen.
So that's what happens, everyone. You know what? It's called infection, inflammation. And when you have too much inflammation in your ears, guess what? You get scar tissue, calcification. But what do you get? You get a lot of wax buildup because it's mucus. The mucus is actually trying to protect the inner ear from being destroyed, okay? And the reality is when she couldn't hear, okay, at all, now that we got the cork out and we got the circulation back, it's going to be oversensitive, and within a few days it'll all balance out and she'll just have normal hearing. Somebody here says, what about degenerative disc disease? There is no such thing as degenerative disc disease. You have discs in between your vertebrae. You also have cartilage in your hip, in your knee, in other places. And what happens is inflammation causes dehydration, and it's dehydrating like beef jerky. Wolf Non-Surgical will open up those discs, get the circulation back in, and you'll be back to normal. And I didn't say it would just be like that, but in most cases, the first treatment, you will go, yep, I know I'm in the right place. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about another client, and I had never met this person. I had talked to her on the phone, so I knew basically what I was going to step into. But she had broken her jaw when she was 5 years old. She's 32 years old now, and she lives in constant pain. In fact, when she wakes up in the mornings, she doesn't sleep well because her parasympathetic nervous system, her sympathetic nervous system her vagus nerve is all frozen up. So she's constantly in a sympathetic state. Anyhow, so she wakes up with her hands in fists and her toes curled up because that is how aggravated her whole nervous system is. And she's in constant pain, and she is all frozen up in her jawline, around her ears, all that. So I knew those things going in, and I knew I was going to work around the ear and around on both jaw lines because she's compensating on the side that's the better side. And so that even causes issues on that side. So we worked both sides. But I have to tell you, when she first walked in, first time I've ever seen this person in my life, she walks in and I could tell by looking at her, I knew exactly what side. So it was because of all that scar tissue in there, it was just pulling a little bit on her mouth. And when she talked, you could tell that there was issues going on. So I knew exactly what it's from. It was from this jaw. So anyways, I did the work. She worked with me. I always have my clients work with me. And what I mean by that is they have to breathe with me. They have to open up with me and let me in. And she had such an emotional, and now I'm going to get emotional. I had such an emotional release. It was the most fabulous thing I've ever seen. And she came in, she was tough and hardened, and, she's, had to wear that armor.
Well, she had to. You know what, everybody?